Mans, how you doing, Mans?
Doing good, lads. How are you?
Yeah,
good,
man.
good.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that Zenchenko finish. It's a proper...
Do you know what? I'm glad you started with that. Because my mate messaged me, McManaman.
Oh yeah, McManaman. The finish.
Yeah, the finish against Valencia.
Also,
in that Champions.
what's his name? Di Canio was reminiscent of that as well, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't his a bit more of an angle?
It's funny because it was a final between Real Madrid and Valencia, 3-0, I think, and Real Madrid are actually playing Valencia in a few hours. So you could say it was a symbolic goal.
Wow, yeah.
There you go. Zinny was great today. I mean, I would have had him up for man of the match even without that third goal. I just felt... Look, everyone always says, first and foremost, I want my defenders to defend. Well, he did that actually really, really well. And even the one time I thought he did get beaten on the outside, turns out the guy was offside. So he held his line, he won his headers, some big headers at the end of the game there as well, won the ball back well. But then on the ball was picking passes through the lines, and it was actually great to see him influencing the final third, a bit like last season.
It was also in the first half that brilliant little drag back and pass he did.
Yeah, another great moment.
That led to an opportunity for Havertz, who unfortunately...
Definitely. No, I thought he played well. I thought he was reminiscent of the whole performance, kind of controlled, typical Premier League performance for us this season. Wingers not really challenging their full-backs, playing very steady, controlled, passing back instead, which kind of frustrated me in the first half, but I'm getting used to it now. Martinelli, I think, took his man for the first time in like the 44th minute or something like that. So, listen, it's all part of our game now. We try to conserve energy, and when I see the amount of injuries that are going on in football right now, especially the Premier League, I can understand why. Because you don't want to lose too many important players. It's very difficult to give Trossard and Zenchenko man of the match. You want to, but when you've got the best defender in the world in your team, like Saliba, that's a little bit difficult. So. They probably feel hard done by, but I'm not scared to say it. Saliba is the best defender in the world right now. I wouldn't have anybody. I wouldn't swap him for any one other defender.
I wouldn't swap him either.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Not a chance.
That's really interesting. Sorry to focus on this, but that's really interesting what you just said about conserving energy, lots of injuries in the Premier League right now. So... do you think there's something of a long-term game here from Arsenal and Arteta, which is, look, last season, we run out of steam quite early as we got into the last 2 months. We lost games we shouldn't have lost. They became way more chaotic than they should have been. People always talk about April, and actually it wasn't just April. I think the Bournemouth game in February, we kind of went life and death in a few of those games. Do you think
there were signs?
There were signs, but do you also think there's something that, like you just touched on there, from an injury perspective, they're like, we don't need, we'll chance the fine margins because we actually need everyone fit. And if we kind of give any more, there's a chance that this comes away from us. I don't know. I'm just sort of spitballing here, but...
Everything leads me to believe that besides Arteta never subbing Saka off. When he did it today, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I had to check if he was on a yellow.
Yeah, so he was limping.
But in terms of injuries and what you said about injuries, I've been kind of saying it every time I've come on here. We are conserving energy. We are not being energetic in our games in the league. We are very controlled. We control the pace of the game, and it's been working every game. Last week against Newcastle, I thought it was working very, very well. Everybody likes to go on about how we had only one shot on target, but I don't think Newcastle had any shots on target before that. So we control games in that sense, and I'm very happy with that. Do you know what? I would say I've learned to love the way we play this season. Really? I hated it at first. Yeah. I think I'm liking it more now. I
think we're definitely more resilient this season in terms of defending than it was.
The defense is outstanding. Yeah. We
keep possession better.
Yeah.
We are not always trying to attack when we do have possession. We're more about control now. And listen, I think that's Arteta learning from last season. That's really it. I feel for Vieira as well, because I was waving to him when he got a red, because I know he's not going to be back for more than 3 games now. Because if Arteta ever needed a reason to keep him on the bench even longer, that was it, probably.
You can see that Arteta wasn't happy about that as well, because he's thinking, look, we got injuries.
But if Havertz got a red, he would have tapped him on the shoulder. So, yeah. But Listen, I don't want to say anything about that. Every manager has their preferred players, and Havertz is a player that Arteta really likes. So he's getting into positions. He needs to, he has a lot of learning to do, but he's more visible in the game now. If a few weeks ago I didn't see him in the game at all, at least now, he gets into positions. He's becoming a part of our transition from midfield to attack, from defense to midfield. So I think that was good. And
could I just ask you a quick question, man? With Havertz, do you think it's the talent is there, but maybe the confidence level isn't quite at the talent level? Or do you think, as Turkish would say, and I'm paraphrasing, but he just doesn't think he's good enough? Which one do you think it is? Because clearly we're not seeing the best of him.
Do you know what it is? The talent is there to play in Bundesliga. The talent is there to play in Serie A. The talent is there to play in the French League One. Leagues where pace is less relevant and technique, skill is more of a thing. In the Prem, you need much more than that, I think. Yeah. So, for instance, Xhaka was probably not as skillful as Havertz, but I would have Xhaka over Havertz any day of the week right now. And I just think it would be so much more fluid. Not that we're trying to be, like I said, we're trying to be more controlled and everything. But we'd get more goals from around number 8, which we've seen last season. So I think there are players that are suited to the league, and I think there are players that are not.
It's great.
I'm not sure about German players in general. They've had Timo Werner coming in, they've had Havertz coming in, not really working out. I think Lucas Podolski was all right overall back in time, Mikel Ballack. So it's a gamble. But Havertz, I look at him like I'm going to support him all the way. But I don't think Kai Havertz is going to become what Mikel Arteta thinks he's going to become.
I feel sorry for him today because he missed 2 big chances. I think 2 or 1. There's one big chance with the header, and there was another moment he had that was a bit like, I can't remember what it was.
It was the
pass to Trossard that was behind him. Yeah. But I actually was just before. I mean, we're talking 5 seconds before that pass was made. I was saying, look, is he playing at a stellar level? No, but he doesn't look any worse than other players right now. I thought he was getting the ball in sort of tight areas and trying to pass, and he was trying to make things happen that wasn't quite happening. Some people might say no, he was actually being quite shy on the ball and not sort of taking risks. But I actually felt that was true of most of the players up until that moment. And in the Sevilla game, people were giving Havertz praise, and I thought, really? Everyone looked a cut above him. But
I was one of them.
Yeah, but I didn't think today that was true until he then messed up the chance and the pass. And I thought, okay.
Well, even for our first goal, I saw Saka jumping really high to get at that header so that he could pass it to Trossard. And I was like, we've got a very tall player in there right next to him, and he's not even bothering to jump.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to pick on absolutely everything he does.
No, of course.
I don't even pay attention to him that much. When we play the way we play, I pay attention to other players. And we haven't lost, so he's not part of a loss. He's part of a winning team. Yeah. And if he's not bothering us,
I'd love to get Mikel in a room and say to him,
"Oh, me too,"
and just ask, you're playing him every week, and I'm just curious why. Now, he might go, well, Odegaard's injured, and what's Vieira done? That might be the answer. But I'd want to know what Havertz has shown that Vieira isn't. And I bet the answer would be something to do with off the ball, the way he presses, the way we control games. When he leads the line with the press, he does that brilliantly. He's getting into pockets. He's been unfortunate with what he's doing when he gets there, but he gets into great areas. I wonder if he'd say something like that. I don't know.
Or could it be that the answer is a little simpler than that? Although Arteta probably wouldn't say
65 million for him, and I need to make it work.
He's invested £65 million.
We say that every week, and I hate hearing it.
Yeah, and no, but there is an element of that which is true. You paid £65 million for a player that, let's face it, most of the fan base were not in favour of. So there's an element of trying to prove people wrong and say, look, this is why I bought this guy. Look, this is what he does. But at the moment, if we're being honest, I don't think Arteta can really convince the fans that the signing has been successful. Not yet, anyway.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to get Arteta and Vieira in the room and ask what happened between you two. Honest to God.
Mans, thank you so much for calling.
Always a pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure. And Tottenham get battered everywhere they go.
It's back. Yeah, I'm glad we can enjoy that for 2 weeks. Thank you, mate.